What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of My Fight Within. On today's episode, we're going to talk about a little bit about how fighting affected my personal life. Now, a lot of people, especially a lot of the viewers, don't get a behind-the-scenes look into what a fighter goes through and what an athlete goes through on a day-to-day basis. And so just so that you guys understand, and just so you guys can kind of be in my shoes or any other athlete's shoes, is you kind of wake up thinking about your opponent. You wake up thinking about your next event, especially when you're going from fight to fight to fight. For instance, I remember my very first fight, especially. I was 21 years old. I'd been training for 2 months. But I remember watching all these different videos on YouTube and UFC countdowns and things like that, and I was like, man, I have to be like those guys. And so, the deeper and deeper I got into my career, the more and more I wanted to be like that, because I thought that's how I had to be successful. And so, years go by. I signed a Bellator. Now I'm with Bellator, and I think I have to be a certain type of athlete. I was still kind of figuring out who I was as a person, and I had 2 kids at the time when I first signed with Bellator, and rent, and my wife, and I'm having all these different responsibilities, and I'm thinking like, okay, well, what do I need to do? To me, when I signed with Bellator, that was my way out. That was my way of promising success to my family, or taking care of my family with fighting. And it wasn't like that at all. My first contract with Bellator, I signed a 9-fight contract. I didn't have a manager at the time, and so I didn't have anyone to kind of have my back and look at the contract for me or look at all the details. I was just super excited that a big time company like that wanted to sign me, and so I think I told him when I went to the office, like, oh, hey, I'll go look at it. I'm going to meet with my team, and I'm going to go look at it, and I'll let you guys know. And I didn't. I think I sent it off to a buddy of mine who's a lawyer, and I had him read it, and he didn't really understand some of the lingo. And so I signed it. And I think within 2 or 3 days, I signed it, sent it back to him. And when I was at that level, all I can think about was fighting, because in my opinion, that was my job. I had to go fight. I had to go compete. I had to go practice. So when I was at Rain, what I would do is I would wake up, eat some breakfast, where there's a protein shake or an oatmeal or some eggs. I would eat first thing in the morning. I would wake up, eat, and then I would go to practice at 9:00. So from 9 to 10, I would have strength and conditioning, and then from 10 to about noon or 12:30, I would have pro class and over at Rain, and we would have our pro practice. And then if I had work at the time, I'd go to work, and I'd come back at night, and I'd train either boxing or jiu-jitsu, or do like one-on-one with a coach. And that was my whole day. And I was so focused on fighting. And if I didn't train with a coach, I would go watch tape. And your whole day is consumed by fighting or your opponent. And you're constantly thinking about your opponent and what they do and what their mistakes are and how you can leverage and just all these. You're breaking down film. You're thinking about your diet. You're worried about your schedule. And so your family and your responsibilities kind of get left behind, and you don't focus on them the way you're supposed to. And it affected my relationship with my kids. It affected my relationship with my wife, because I would wake up thinking about my opponent, and I would go to sleep thinking about my opponent. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing or a good thing. I'm just saying that for me, it negatively impacted my way of life and what you're supposed to do as a man and as a provider. And I was so consumed by what I was learning and what I needed to do. And I wish someone was there to kind of tell me or help guide me into what I needed. I never felt like I can reach out, or I could have reached out to certain guys because, they're too busy. Or for instance, like Mark Munoz, great friend, awesome mentor. And I can reach out to him whenever I wanted to, but I always felt weird. I was like, I'm taking too much of his time. I'm asking too much. He's already practicing and he's already responding to my text. But if I go any further than this, it's going to seem like too much. And I know that he has a family and he has kids and he has responsibilities. I mean, he's the owner of the gym. And so I wish I would have maybe listened a little bit more. I wish I would have taken a seat back and maybe enjoyed where I was at in my career and the success that I had at the time. And so it negatively impacted my personal life because of the way I thought about things, or how I was approaching things. And so what I'd recommend to do the opposite is maybe take some time to sit back. Take some time to sit back, smell the roses, enjoy your successes, but really prioritize what you're doing. Be intentional with your time. If you have kids, if you have a significant other, be there for them and enjoy that time together and be intentional with what you're doing. Don't just go into a date night, if you will, without a plan. Don't go and hang out with your kids without being intentional. Make sure that you're spending the same amount, if not more, time and energy with the things that matter before those years are gone. Like now, my son's 14 years old, and those years when he was younger, when I was training, I wish I would have spent more time with him. And so now I get to make that up, which is awesome. Not to say I'm making it up, but I get to be more intentional with my time and the time I spend with him and the things I talk about with him, because now I feel like I'm preparing him for the real world and life. And I want to teach him things that he's not going to learn at school, my mistakes and the bad decisions I made, so that he doesn't make those. And so, I'd highly recommend that you guys find a mentor. There's so many people out there that want to be that for an athlete or an up and coming entrepreneur or just someone in your life that you look up to, that maybe wants to help mold and kind of shape you into who you want to be and the goals that you have. The other thing that I'd highly recommend is for you guys to have goals and to know what you want to do, and also set a date on them and make them realistic goals as to what you want to accomplish and when you want to accomplish them by, because there's going to be stages even to those goals. Don't be scared when things don't go the way you wanted them to, or they don't go exactly how you planned them to, because there's going to be bumps in the road, but you have to equip yourself to be able to handle that, and to be able to handle those that crossroad and the way that kind of negatively impacts your end goal. I coach here at a local high school and tell my guys all the time, like, write down the reason why you're doing what you're doing. Why do you play the sport? If you can write that down, then if you know your why, your how is easier. So the days you don't want to get up, the days you don't want to go to practice, the days that you're tired and you think you might need a break, those are the days that you have to push yourself, and you create these almost barriers in your head, and you say, this is as far as I can get. Well, if you work a little bit towards it, you can kind of break that barrier and get better. And so I'd say find a mentor, write down your goals, and just enjoy life. Now, especially this year with 2020 and the virus and all the negative things that have happened, to me, losing Kobe at the beginning of the year. I was such a huge Kobe fan growing up. I remember everyone hated him and didn't like that he was a ball hog. And I loved Kobe, and you see how short life is, and not just because he's a celebrity doesn't mean that we have to, pay attention to him. But he did so many things outside of the sport, and he was learning so much. He was doing so much where he might have been even more successful as a producer and storyteller, and the things he was doing creatively after he got done with his playing career. And it's crazy that we lost him that early, but life is short, and there's plenty of things that have happened to me in my personal life to make me realize that. And so I would encourage you guys to go find a mentor, write your goals, and just enjoy the ride. Enjoy where you're at, enjoy even the hard times. When things do go bad, or when things aren't necessarily as smooth as you thought they were going to be, enjoy that, because there's a lesson to be learned in that, and you grow from it, and you mature, and you get stronger, and you get better. And if you don't learn from it, you're just going to keep making those same mistakes. So I definitely encourage you guys not to repeat myself, but I'm going to find a mentor, find someone that you look up to, or someone that you want to be like, and go let them just teach you, whether it's once a month, every other week, whatever it is, and whatever they're available to the time, whatever time they have free to give you, use that and take advantage of that. The other thing would be write your goals down so that you know why you're doing it, and even how are you going to reach that goal. And 3 is just enjoy the ride, man, and enjoy life. Have fun doing it and learn from all your experiences. I want to keep these episodes of My Fight Within a little bit shorter than The Fight Within. We have some pretty neat guests lined up, and they're coming up in the next couple of weeks, so we'll keep you guys updated. I'll make sure to post better on social media for you guys so that you guys kind of know what's going on. But again, thank you guys. I can't thank you guys enough for listening, for helping the show grow, and for just staying loyal to us. Please make sure to share it. We need the more listeners, the better. Like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and just let us know what you guys think. And so thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you guys, and remember that everything was impossible until someone did it. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Kingdom Nutrition. Make sure you guys go and visit their site over at kingdomnutrition.com and enter promo code MFW10 to get 10% off your next purchase. Kingdom Nutrition carries the best sports supplements on the market. They manufacture and curate their own line of supplements with the highest quality ingredients, including a lean protein, weight gainer protein, pre-workout, BCAAs, and an array of other products. They've recently created the world's first vegan chickpea protein, and it tastes amazing. I'm a big dude. I like food, and I like chocolate. So when they told me it comes in chocolate and vanilla, I got really happy. But if you're a workout enthusiast and you want to change up your diet, change up your protein, go check out their vanilla chickpea protein. It mixes well with anything. It'll blend great with a smoothie. So to get your hands on any of these products, just make sure and go visit kingdomnutrition.com. Remember to enter promo code MFW10 and get 10% off your next purchase. Let's go.